One change in the foundation that we're pursuing this year, the idea is that we're going to go with Erica Fuller, a vet who's here on the grounds, who has volunteered to help me find horses that are going to slaughter and save them from that. And I thought that we could do this and help the kids that I work with as well by having the kids help us heal the horses, bring them back to health, help with the medical care, and in helping those horses heal, hopefully help parts of themselves heal as well. So that's my idea. Thank you. And I know you can imagine how much support, in all ways, I think we need to carry that through. I asked Erica if she'd go with me to the auctions where they bring the horses to slaughter, and she agreed. I was amazed. I'm not even sure I can do it, but one of the kids I see who's older said to me, you know, you really have to convey this. I'm desperate for people to really understand how this therapy helps and works. That was her word, desperate. And I said, every year I try to convey it, and I really don't know how. But I wanted to give you those words of hers, because that's one way to do it. Last year I spoke about how when kids are helped to find words to express how they're feeling, they're less likely to act them out destructively, the feelings that they have. The words tend to organize and help find a better way. This year, I want to give you an example of actually what I do with a specific diagnosis. And I think many of you, because of the various wars over the last few years, have heard of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Well, I see a kid who has post-traumatic stress disorder, not because of a war or abuse. Many kids experience PTSD because of abuse they have felt or experienced. This kid experiences PTSD because of a life-threatening illness that she suffers and all the medical, really painful experiences that she's had. Some of those experiences include being held down to get shots. She's had anaphylactic reactions, so she's had to be intubated. She's had a central line, so there's a tube that's put in her chest to get medication. She has scars in many places over her body for different medical reasons. All this has meant and has saved her life, but it's made it very difficult for her to do anything but hold her arms here. And because she's been intubated, where someone comes behind you and helps you breathe by putting a tube down your throat, when somebody comes up behind her, it frightens her. So I want to show you how I worked with her and hopefully read you some of her words. So because we don't have a microphone that I can stick here, Kendra is helping me, and this is Georgia, and this is Jake, my wonderful therapy horse and co-therapist. So we're just going to have Kendra make a circle here with Georgia. Now, what we did was to help with post-traumatic stress. The idea is to, the clinical word is neutralize the negative stimulus. So that means that we try to make a new experience of holding the arms out, and that has to include the whole body and all the senses. So what I would say to Georgia, if she were that kid I was working with, is that I'd ask her to take note of what she's smelling and seeing, feeling, and even tasting. The horses in the barn have very specific smells I happen to love. Some people don't. But as she moves and walks with Jake, she is creating a new experience that I'm trying to make conscious. Now, this girl that I work with wants to keep her hands here because anything away from her body feels threatening. So what we did was I had her, Georgia, can you put a knot in the reins? So after helping her to be conscious of all of her senses, I have her put one hand on her one leg, you can pick, and even closer to your body, because even putting her hand there would feel uncomfortable. And then as she walked, I would ask her to put her hand up just a little to a place of discomfort. So you can lift your hand a little bit. And that's even further than she would go the first time. And then while she experienced that, I'd remind her of the smells of Jake, hearing his breath, hearing whatever sounds his feet make on the ground, feeling the air. And then I'd have her put her hand back down and do it with the other. And so if you lift your other hand up. And then as she got more comfortable with her hand in a certain place, I'd have her lift it up further and away, till we went from here. You can open up both arms, Georgia. There we go. She was there. But that took a long time. It took many sessions. Okay, now Georgia, so what we did there is over many hours create a new sensation. And when she went to the hospital and something had to happen, she not only has the memories of pain, but she has this, and it can balance it. It doesn't take it away, but it makes it better. And in her life, outside of the hospital and the barn, she can always return to this, which she has, and she's no longer as closed all the time. All right, so the other experience that I spoke about is that it's very hard for this child to have anyone come up behind. Not anymore, though. So, why don't you give him a cookie? Good. Okay, let him know that you have the cookies, and walk a little bit away from him. Good. Okay, give him another cookie. So we did this many times, and I would have her stand further away and have him come up, and she had a new experience that she can use now always for the rest of her life. Boy. And that's why Jake's the therapy word. So that's just one example. I work with kids with all kinds of diagnoses. You guys can, why don't you keep walking around in a circle and keep them out. But that's just one. I work with kids with manic depression, and we find creative ways of working with these issues that you can't do in a traditional office. And so I just want to remind you that every session I charge either $125 or nothing, because I have some pro bono cases. Deb is similar. And really it costs more like $450 to $500. And now that I'm spending more money on more horses, it's going to cost more. So, but I really, really want to pursue this, and I hope you think it's a good idea too, to get the rescue horses and do some more work like this. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane, and her senior therapist, Jake.
The Bare Spot Foundation to benefit equine-assisted psychotherapy provides therapeutic services for children, adolescents, and their families. The Foundation's programs address the needs of clients with affective disorders like depression, ADD, ADHD, anorexia, bulimia, and anxiety. The Foundation offers a unique combination of traditional psychotherapy with dressage, riding, and horse care. Its mission is to bring the profound and seemingly mystical, nourishing quality of the horse into a directed therapeutic program.